I'm going to be going over everything from the very beginning, from signing up online and the doctor's visit to getting my prescription. We're going to go over all of it. It's been an interesting ride so far. Hey everybody, it's Allie. I'm on a fantabulous weight loss quest, and hopefully you'll subscribe, come along for the ride, because I put out new videos every day. And today's video is about my experience so far with Mochi. So if you're new here, I made a few videos talking about why I chose Mochi, the research that I did, and I did a Q&A session where I answered a lot of questions that people had from my first video. So definitely go check those out. And for anybody who's wondering how my hair is so fantastically 80s, because I am loving this right now, yes, I was influenced and I bought it. In case you're wondering, I will link it in the description box below for you. It is so much fun, and it's become my new personality trait. I am loving it. Okay. Moving on to what you came here for. So, I thought that the sign-up process with Mochi was incredibly easy. There is a questionnaire portion that you fill out where you fill out, all of your medical conditions, previous surgeries, right? Your standard help the doctor get to know your medical history type questionnaire. I did find that Mochi's was much more detailed than other telehealth companies, so that was nice. And there was also a section where you could kind of fill in the blank, like, hey, is there anything that you want your Mochi doctor to know before your visit? And I utilized that blank to let them know, hey, I'm already on Tirzepatide, right, Mounjaro, and I'm on 12.5, and I'm doing great. So just looking for continued care. Now, to further explain, the Mochi doctor doesn't know that I'm an influencer. So you, as an influencer, have to sign up the same way as any other patient would. So I wanted to clarify that for some people. So I didn't get any kind of special treatment, and I can assure you that I did not get special treatment. So I took notes. So if you wonder why I keep looking over here, it's at my computer screen. I took notes on the visit, and I gotta say, I was underwhelmed, to say the least. It wasn't bad, so don't freak out if you're thinking about using Mochi. But again, I am all about patients advocating for themselves, and I was really expecting a lot more. And it did fall short. So first and foremost, the doctor was 7 minutes late. Now, I know that probably doesn't seem like a big deal to a lot of people, but I keep track of that sort of thing because I need to know, like, is my doctor going to show up on time? And also, how late are they going to be? So it was also a little bit unnerving because this is the first time using Mochi, right? So I'm clicking the link, and then I'm sitting in the waiting room for the telehealth call. And if you sit there for long enough, it boots you out. So then you have to go back in and click the link. And I had to do that 3 times before the doctor actually showed up. It's a telehealth visit. I personally feel like the doctor should be on time. Like, if you can't keep up with your regular in-face appointments, okay, fair enough, right? I get it, but it's a telehealth appointment. It's not like we're going anywhere. So I met with the doctor, and he did not make eye contact with me, not one time. So it was very obvious that he was on a computer. Again, totally fine, right? I was doing it from my phone. And he did not make eye contact with me one time. I was actually holding up my box of Mounjaro to show him. He didn't look at it. He kept getting some of my medical information wrong. And I kept having to correct him. For example, he kept saying that my start weight was 245. And he kept saying that. And I was like, no, it was 285. Is that a typo on your end? Because I put 285. And he was like, oh, no, I'm sorry about that. And then he would continue on. Then we would get to talking and he'd be like, okay, so, and then you started out at 245. And I was like, no, 285. Dude, I lost a ton of weight. You are going to get this number right. And finally, on the third time, I got a little bit frustrated because, again, he's talking to his computer, but he's not like looking at the image of me making eye contact. So I finally got frustrated with him and I was like, is it wrong on your end? Does it say 245? Is that why you continue to say the wrong number? And he kind of like, was a little bit taken aback. Again, still didn't make eye contact with me. And he was like, oh, no, I'm sorry. It's my mistake. It's fine. Okay, well, it's my medical history, so I'm gonna need for you to get it right. It's a little thing, but again, it just goes to show how the whole visit went. So he talked to me about side effects. How are you doing on Mounjaro? I told him great. He was like, okay. Because of the Mochi modified dosing schedule, they have a dose in between 12.5 and 15. And he wanted me to do that dose. Now, for me, I know I didn't want that. If I'm paying out of pocket, I want the highest dose that you have. So I explained to him that, I don't have any side effects. I'm perfectly capable of dosing on my own. I want the 16.6, which is the highest dose that they offer. And he was like, well, that's a pretty big jump, from 12 to 16.6. And I was like, yeah, but I can modify the dosing. It's okay. Well, I really think you should go to I was like, well, I'm paying for it, so I'd really like the 16.6. And he was like, okay. So then he was like, okay, well, what we can do is we can do that for 1 month and then see how it goes. And I was like, oh, no, you misunderstood. I'm doing a 6-month supply. And he was like, no, we don't offer that. Dude, yes, you do. That's the whole reason why I chose you. So are you telling me now that I can't do it because I confirmed with support before I made this appointment that you'd be able to do it? So if you're telling me now that you can't do it, I need you to tell me so that I can go ahead and get a refund, because I would not have chosen Mochi if I couldn't do a 6-month supply. And he was like, oh, well, so support said we could do it? And I'm like, yes, I checked before I made the appointment. And he was like, oh, okay, well, let me reach out to my support team. And I was like, okay, you do that. I'll wait. And he was like, oh, no, we don't have to stay on here. We can finish the appointment. And I was like, okay. So to reiterate, I want the 16.6 and I want 6 months of it. And if that's not an option, then don't prescribe anything because I'm going to ask for a refund. And he was like, oh yeah, well, they change things up sometimes. And so maybe it's just not showing up on my screen as an option. I'll just get with support and see what I could do. And I was like, oh, okay, great. Well, maybe you just needs to update the options or whatever. Come on, dude, seriously? And to be fair to this doctor, when big corporations roll out new stuff, right, they're not always the best at making sure that everybody's up to speed. So I don't want to make it seem like he was being combative, because if anybody was being combative, it was me, because I was very clear that this is what I want. This is what I'm going to do. Send it to me or we're going to quit right now. So, it's just one of those things where as a patient, you really have to advocate for yourself. And at one point I did say to him, if you're not comfortable prescribing me the 16.6, then that's fine. I respect that, right? You're the doctor. But we're going to need to cancel this appointment and find me a doctor who is. well, no, I'm not saying that. And I'm like, well, okay, then you better do it. So, you know, it's one of those things where, yes, I understand they have the modified dosing schedule. Yes, I understand that they have standardized the dosing so that it doesn't matter what dose you're on, you take 50 units, right? Because they want to eliminate a lot of the patient error. And I get that. And I appreciate that. But I'm not your average Joe patient, right? I'm somebody who's very versed in this, educated in this. I understand, I know how to follow my personal cues, and I wasn't about to, you know, get into a pissing match with the doctor after I just said, yeah, the whole reason why I'm doing this is because my doctor won't prescribe 15, right? Like, let's not be difficult. And if I'm being perfectly honest, he really just continued to rub me the wrong way the entire visit because he never once made eye contact. Not one time. If he had to identify me in a lineup without me speaking, he wouldn't be able to do it. Mind you, I have a pretty unique look. I could have been in a lineup. He would have been like, I don't know. Because he didn't look at me, not one time. Bedside manner is a big deal for me. So I did ding him on that. I did ding him on being 7 minutes late. Again, it's a telehealth appointment. Just show up on time, right? I get it if you're busy, but don't make me continue to log in to the call and get booted and continue to log in. Like, that's frustrating for patients. So that's the honest review. Let me tell you all the good stuff, right? Because we want to end on a positive note here. I did get the prescription that I requested. I did get the 6-month supply. Support was able to help him to figure out how to do that. So that was great. It's good that their doctors have a support team, right? So they're not just out there, you know, winging it and they don't know, you know, how to do it. So I like that. I like that they have a support option that they can chat to and get answers very quickly. He resolved that in, I think it took like 25 minutes after our appointment. So whatever support had to do, they got it updated and it showed up in the app, the Mochi app. It showed up in 25 minutes. So I assume part of that probably took time for him to get it right up to speed. And then part of it was him logging the information and then it updating in the app. So very quick response time. Anytime that I asked questions in the chat, which is a feature of the app, I got a response very quickly. I even sent one question that I read from somebody in the middle of the night. It was like 2:00 in the morning and I woke up to a response. So their customer support, they're doing good. I did call in to customer support, again, testing everything out so that I could give you advice on that. They were incredibly friendly and they answered all of my questions. And then they were very quick to send a follow-up email and be like, hey, did you need anything else? If you think of anything, reach out to us, right? Super professional. Now, as far as tracking my prescription goes, that was also very good. So it all shows up in the app. So it showed that my prescription was entered. It showed when it was processed. It showed when it was being processed by the pharmacy, and it showed when it shipped. And then it provided me tracking. Then it also updated when it delivered. So the tracking mechanism as far as keeping track of, you know, where you are in the process was very seamless, and everything is right there for you on the main dashboard of the app, which I like. I don't have to hunt for it. It was very user-friendly, and I was able to, you know, keep track of my prescription, and then it showed up. So everything was correct in the package, and it was very well packaged. They provided me with more than enough syringes, which is fine. The syringes are excellent quality. I am a big fan of the brand that they're using. I have used them for other things. And I find that those needles are both the correct size and less painful than other brands of the same size. Don't ask me how that happens. I don't know. It probably has something to do with manufacturing, but this brand is just better in my opinion. So yeah, so they're providing you quality needles. Of course, you've got the alcohol wipes that are in there as well. Yeah, the medication showed up cold, which is good. And I was very happy. So after completing my doctor's visit and going through the process of tracking and now receiving my medication, do I still recommend them? Yes, absolutely. I find that when there's hiccups and everything still comes out right in the end, that is what's important. So maybe this doctor had just come back from vacation, right? And we all get that feeling where it's like, oh, here we are working and we just came back from vacation, right? Maybe he was a little discombobulated. He didn't know about the 6-month supply. All well and good. I just took a very firm stance with him. And while I don't think that he liked it, he certainly respected it. And that is all I ask of my medical provider, right? If you're going to work with me, then A, make eye contact every once in a while, and B, listen to what it is that I'm telling you. Because I was very much on top of my stuff, right? You guys know, right? I'm very well educated in GLP-1s. And so I was not giving any reason for him to be alarmed or concerned, right? I'm perfectly capable of managing my care. There is no requirement to have an office visit every month. And I let him know that that's not something that I need. If I'm having an issue, then I'll make an appointment. If I'm not having an issue, I'm not going to make an appointment. And he said that that was fine. They do require visits at least twice a year, right? So once every 6 months, which again is fine. My general practitioner has said the same thing, right? Because my labs are all good. And yeah. So overall, it was a very good visit. I think that I had some really high expectations going into it. And while this particular individual fell a little bit short, I'm not going to hold that against him. So it was still a successful visit. I would still recommend the company to anybody who asked, and I do. And if it's something that you're interested in, if you are interested in, utilizing a 3-month or a 6-month supply, or you're looking for a doctor who's going to listen to you when you tell them, hey, I don't need a whole lot of hand-holding, then Mochi is definitely an option. My link is in the description box below. My coupon code is in the description box below if you would like to save $40. If you don't want to use it, that's okay too. I'm going to continue documenting everything. Unfortunately, when the compound showed up, I had already taken my shots because my shot day is the day before. So just in case there was any kind of shipping issue, I did not wait. So I won't be able to take my first dose until this Friday. But of course, I'll be documenting all of that for you, and I will keep you up to speed on how everything is going with the compounding every week. I plan to do some, microdosing, split dosing, right? Type of videos, so make sure that you are subscribed if you would like to stick around for those. And as always, be kind, rewind. Oh, you can't read it. Oh, rewind. Wee, wee, wee. Okay, it's time to get serious.